Monica, last question.
Jared, you mentioned the recent wage growth, but as many Americans are going to be heading to the polls and voting based on what they've experienced and what they are feeling, when do you think people will feel wage growth and their wages starting to outpace inflation?
Yeah, it's a really important question. It's not an easy one to answer. It has a lot to do with we at CEA have made up something that turns out to be a real thing. We call it your personal price vector. This idea that everybody walks around with a list of prices in their head. What's on that list? Gasoline, groceries, sure. But if, like my wife, you're somebody who likes to garden, fertilizer is on that list. And you remember what things cost. You remember that you used to pay $3 for this and now you're paying $4 for this. Now, one of the points that I'm making is that as your pay goes up, that $4 becomes something you can afford again. So here's a calculation that we do that no normal person would do, which is that it says, if you look at how much work, how many hours of work does it take to buy a bag of groceries right now, it's about the same or even a little lower than it was before the pandemic, right? Because yes, grocery prices have gone up, but especially recently, wages have gone up more than grocery prices. So for whatever hours of work it took you to buy a bag of groceries before the pandemic, it's about the same, even a little less right now. So why don't people feel better? Because they still remember what things used to cost. They still have that, their PPVs, their personal price vectors, have yet to update completely. But they are in that process. And so one test of this theory is, okay, time has to pass, inflation has to stay low so that prices don't get shocked again. Time passes, check, because that's like a physical reality. Inflation is low, 1.5% on a quarterly basis for the PCE last quarter. Real pay has to go up, and we have to do all we can to help on the cost-cutting agenda. Now, if all of that would help, in answer to your question, if all of that is truly helpful, we should see confidence and sentiment indices begin to tick up starting around now. And that's exactly what we've seen. We're not back to pre-pandemic levels. Our work isn't done. But the trend is our friend. We're moving in the right direction, and we have a strong foundation to build upon and a strong policy agenda with which to build upon that foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. Appreciate it, Jared.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.